Sound.com.
January 9, 2026. In the dead of night, a single Russian missile streaks toward western Ukraine at over Mach 10, faster than any commercial jet, impossible for most defenses to stop. Its warheads separate mid-flight, raining down in blazing streaks that light up the sky like the branches of a deadly hazel tree. That's why Russia named it Oreshnik, hazel tree. One missile, miles from the Polish border. A deliberate warning shot to NATO. This means that, even though Russia can be attacked, the West can also bear devastating loss. MMH. You're exactly right. That is the core of the deterrence strategy. Even if one side appears to dominate on the battlefield, the other can still inflict unacceptable damage on the homeland. In 2026, military experts call this the asymmetry of stakes. Russia might not win a prolonged conventional war, but it could leave major Western cities and economies in ruins before defeat. The result? A tense, high-stakes standoff where no one dares cross the final red line. On the night of January 8–9, 2026, Russia launched its advanced Oreshnik intermediate-range ballistic missile against a target in western Ukraine's Lviv region, striking near a defense enterprise just miles from the Polish border, a NATO member. This was only the second confirmed combat use of the Oreshnik, following its debut in November 2024. The missile, capable of hypersonic speeds exceeding Mach 10, carries multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, MIRVs, a feature typically reserved for strategic systems. Russia claims it's nearly impossible to intercept, even with conventional warheads. This wasn't just another strike, it was a deliberate message to Europe and NATO. In a full-scale escalation, Russia could deploy Oreshnik systems to target energy grids right-pointing arrow, causing widespread blackouts in major cities like Berlin, Warsaw, or Paris. Logistics hubs right-pointing arrow crippling ports, airports, and rail networks to block reinforcements. Critical infrastructure right-pointing arrow including financial data centers that could trigger economic collapse with precision strikes. The strike near NATO's edge underscores Moscow's willingness to demonstrate reach and remind the West of the risks. The danger goes far beyond conventional missiles. In late 2024, Russia updated its nuclear doctrine, lowering the threshold for potential use. The key change: any aggression against Russia or its ally Belarus by a non-nuclear state, like Ukraine, if supported by a nuclear power, such as the US, UK, or France, is now considered a joint attack on Russia. This removes critical buffers. What was once indirect aid, ATACMS missiles, storm shadow strikes, or intelligence sharing, could legally justify a nuclear response under Moscow's interpretation. The doctrine also expands triggers to include conventional attacks threatening Russia's sovereignty or territorial integrity. Combined with Oreshnik's nuclear-capable design, it creates a chilling new reality. Even if NATO overwhelmed 90% of Russia's forces in a conventional war, the remaining arsenal could still devastate the West. A well-known Princeton University simulation from 2019, still cited in 2026, modeled a plausible US-Russia nuclear exchange escalating from tactical to full-scale. It estimated over 91 million casualties in the first few hours alone, 34 million dead and 57 million injured, before long-term fallout and nuclear winter effects. And this silent war is already underway. Sabotage of Western weapons factories, severed undersea cables, GPS jamming, and hybrid threats. Russia demonstrates it can impose costs without crossing borders, proving the asymmetry is real. This is a modern Mexican standoff. The West holds superior conventional strength and alliances, but Russia shows a greater willingness to risk mutual destruction if it feels cornered. The Oreshnik strike in January 2026, so close to NATO territory, reminds everyone, winning could mean the end of civilization as we know it. That's why, even now, leaders on all sides tread carefully. The red line holds, for the moment. But in a world of hypersonic missiles and lowered nuclear thresholds, how long can deterrence last? Like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below. What do you think? Escalation or uneasy peace in 2026?
Sound.com. Sound